There have been a lot of great Star Wars characters over the years. They all have great qualities, amazing backstories, and some of them have been created into LEGO minifigures. Some of my personal favorite of these incredible characters are known as Inquisitors. Inquisitors were basically Jedi who fell to the dark side, but weren't as powerful as Darth Vader and had a lower rank than him. Fortunately, LEGO has made 4 Inquisitors total in their LEGO brand, but there are many others throughout the Star Wars universe that they have yet to make. So today I'm going to be trying to make some of those missing Inquisitors based on their comic book and video game appearances. Yes, that's where most of these guys are going to be from, and I'm going to try my best to recreate them using the pieces I have. This is going to be quite the challenge considering some of the molds required for these characters don't really exist yet. They're just really complicated character designs, so it should be a really great challenge to see what I can do. So, let's see how it goes. First up, we have the second sister, also known as Trilla Sundari. She was an Inquisitor who appeared in the Jedi Fallen Order video game and also died in that video game. I made her using a Karen hairpiece. I don't mean to stereotype, but it just kind of looks that way, but black. Head from Item Versio minifigure, and 2 capes because the inside of her cape is red and the outside is black, and LEGO doesn't really have that, so I just used 2 capes, 1 black, 1 red, to sort of give that effect. The torso is Reva's torso because they're basically the same. They wear the same attire, and same goes for the legs as well. The second sister also had a kind of a cool helmet. It was like black with this red visor in the front, and of course this is a very unique and hard to build helmet, so I ordered a custom one to fit the purpose. So if we just set it on there, it looks really sleek and really cool. And then if we throw a lightsaber into the mix, like so, if I can get it in her hand, looks even better. Next we have the fourth sister, also known as Lynn Rakish or Lynn Rakish. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. She appeared in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show as well as the Tales of the Empire show. This was another kind of hard one to make. The helmet is just a basic black, I don't know, is it a cap or something? I'm not really sure what it is. The head was actually kind of a hard find. It came from Lady Iron Dragon, who is a Ninjago character. I was lucky enough to have this head to kind of fit the yellow skin tone that she has. The torso is from a Dark Trooper. Is that what it is? I think so. It was in The Mandalorian. It came in this set, and I think it fits really well because she doesn't actually have the same exact torso as the second sister, the third sister. It kind of has some weird like buttons and stuff on it, like not dress buttons, but like mechanical buttons, you know what I mean? And for the legs, I gave her some basic Imperial cloth pants, and I think it looks really good. The only thing I could not get on her was her little head tails that are on the back of her head. Those are kind of impossible for LEGO, unless, of course, they decide to make one day. But I just kind of left them out because it's hard enough as it is to, you know, make it. And then we can, of course, give her her lightsaber as well. The next character I have made is the sixth brother. He appeared in the Darth Vader comics a while back. He was also kind of a hard one to construct. His helmet is a kind of an interesting shape. It's got those kind of metal visor-like things in the front, as well as the helmet itself. So I tried to kind of compensate for that by using a First Order helmet, which I had to go and dig up out of my collection, as well as his head, which is from another Ninjago character, because I needed that sort of metal visor in the front. With that, we have a torso from I think it's a Sith Trooper. I don't know, it came in this set. You may be wondering why the hands are a different color. It's actually because Darth Vader cut off one of his hands, and that's why one of them is gray, because it's like a robo hand, I guess. And then the legs are legs from Ultron, who is a Marvel character. His armor was also very different from the other Inquisitors. It was kind of metallic because he's a different species. He has a green skin, but you know, Lego's kind of hard to come by with green skin figures. And then of course, like all the other characters in this video, we're going to give him his Inquisitor lightsaber. Next up is the seventh sister. She appeared in the Rebels TV show as well as brief appearances in the Darth Vader comics. She was an Inquisitor with, again, a very interesting helmet. The best I could do was this knight helmet that I dug up. And the head is from Barriss Offee, who is from the same species as she is. And also, the best I could do. The torso is the same as most of the female Inquisitors, coming from Reva, the third sister, and the legs are just plain black. Lightsaber appears. Next up on the list is one of my personal favorite Inquisitors, the eighth brother. Now, he is a very mysterious character in Star Wars. We only see him in 2 episodes of Star Wars Rebels, as well as a very brief appearance in the Vader comics. We never see his face, nor know his real name. So again, very mysterious character. His species is also very rare in Star Wars. I think we've only seen maybe 2 of them. It's called a Tyrellian or Tyrillian. I'm really bad at pronouncing these. But they're known for only having 3 fingers on their hand, and I think that's pretty cool. His helmet came from a First Order Lego set from a little while back. I gave him a black head because, we don't really know what his face looks like. His torso is actually a reversed Sith Trooper torso from a Old Republic set. They don't really make those anymore, so kind of rare. I just turned it backwards so that the plate kind of reflects his actual appearance. His hands are blue because he doesn't wear gloves. He has 3 fingers again, which I think is pretty cool. And the legs are from a Dark Trooper, which is in that Mandalorian set from earlier. Next is the ninth sister, also known as Masana Tide before she became an Inquisitor. She appeared in the Jedi Fallen Order and the Jedi Survivor games, as well as the Vader comics. Now, this was another very challenging minifigure to make. Her actual size would be about the size of this guy. But yes, her species is very large in Star Wars, so I had to order a custom that was minifigure size. It gets the job done. I mean, the helmet is really cool. I do wish you could see through the visor and that it wasn't just a solid red, but that's kind of hard to do. But this custom is honestly really cool. I'm really sad that I couldn't make one, but she's a very complex character, so I think a custom was worth it. Next up is another one of my favorite Inquisitors, the 10th brother. He was a Jedi who got exiled from the Order and then later became an Inquisitor under Darth Vader. He was also blind, which is pretty cool. He was able to fight while blind. He did die in the Darth Vader comics because, he couldn't see, but he's still really, really cool. Instead of using one double-bladed lightsaber, he actually uses 2, split for both hands. He's got a really cool kind of uniform too. I made it using a torso from Cole, who is a Ninjago character. The legs are just plain gray. His head is from a Luke Skywalker figure. His mask also from Ninjago. His cape from Mandalorian. So I made him from all sorts of different pieces, but I think it was worth it. He looks pretty accurate to his character overall, and I think it looks really good. Next is the 13th sister, also known as Iskat Akaris. A very weird name, but it's Star Wars, so what do you expect? Anyway, she had her own book, Rise of the Red Blade. She also appeared in the Darth Vader comics multiple times. She had brown hair, but she also kind of had a reddish tint to it, so I gave her a sort of red hair. She also had sort of red skin. Her species kind of had that, but Lego doesn't make a lot of red characters unless you count Spider-Man or something. So I just gave her a plain red head. Her torso is made from, I don't know, any of the other sisters who wear the same clothing, but hers was actually a bit more of a grayish color, but that's kind of hard to make in Lego, so I just kind of left it alone. I know it kind of looks like I threw her together with random pieces, but I don't know, she's another really complex character. A lot of these are, so I just kind of had to make do with what I had, and I think it looks less than good. Next up is, actually we don't have an official title for this guy, we only have his name, which is Tualan Ulana, I think it's pronounced. He was a black Twi'lek, so he's supposed to have those signature head tails on the back of his head, but that's kind of hard to make, so I just left it alone, similar to the fourth sister from earlier. His face, I think, works really great. It's from Garmadon, another Ninjago character. There seems to be a lot of those in this video. But anyway, I think it works really well, especially when compared to this image of him with his kind of angry face on, and I think that's pretty funny. He also had sort of a gray attire, similar to the 13th Sister. It was also kind of a complex kind of suit, so I just went with a Imperial officer turned around. It's actually kind of an older one, you can tell by the printing. And I gave him some basic light gray arms and some gray legs. Again, kind of a scuffed character, but really the best I could do. Next up is another Inquisitor we don't know a whole lot about. We don't have his Inquisitor name or his real name. All we know is that he appeared in Tales of the Empire and Tales of the Jedi, so both Tales series. He had sort of a witch doctor-like face, and they also had like talon kind of hands, so very interesting. Very hard to make as well. As you can see, I kind of used just a basic hook for his face, and it gets the job done, but it just looks really goofy. For his torso, legs, and a hood, I used from Emperor Palpatine. For his long billowing cape, which he has in the show, I used a cape from a Dementor, which is a Harry Potter thing. For his head, it's kind of a really simple design, so it's a neck bracket, but it's turned upside down, and then you put the hood on, and then you really got to use two hands for this, but you just kind of, it's not cooperating. Anyway, you just put the little hook on the stud right there, but you know, again, it looks really goofy, but it looks okay. Next up is another very, very complex character. She appeared in a book that I've never read, so I don't really know a lot about her, other than she was taken from her home and then trained as an Inquisitor, and then later she killed her master or something. I'm not exactly sure how her backstory goes, but anyway, she kind of had this sort of dome-ish helmet, and there was this helmet from the Mandalorian Forge set that had no visor on it, so I thought it worked really well all the way around. It's just a blank helmet. It really works really well. I already said that. Anyway, her torso is from Rey Skywalker, Rey Palpatine. I don't care. I don't like the sequels, but it's just turned around backwards to give it that tan look. Also, her legs are from Poe Dameron or Poe Dameron. Again, a sequels character that I don't care about, but anyway, they all kind of fit together to make this great figure. She also had a very interesting lightsaber that I actually attempted to make in Lego form. I used two axe heads as well as a long hilt piece to make sort of that jagged blade hilt lightsaber thing she has. So if we give it to her like this, it looks really cool. The last two Inquisitors I have are actually not part of the Star Wars universe. They come from the TV show Star Wars Visions, which the first season was an anime, and the second season was a variety of different animation styles, so pretty interesting show there. Two characters in two different episodes are Inquisitors. He had a very cool design with some gold accents, which I represented using some gold shoulder pads, as well as a bit of gold on his legs. These legs are from a Undead Geonosian minifigure, kind of old. He kind of had this greenish teal skin, which I used to represent using a head from Ghost Cole, who's a Ninjago character. He wore kind of a low hood. I tried many different hoods for this character, but the only one that kind of fit with his mustache was this cap, also used on the fourth sister. His mustache, of course, is kind of significant of this character, so I had to include that. And his torso and cape, well, just his torso is from Iden Versio, a figure I mentioned earlier, and his cape is just a basic black cape. The next Inquisitor from Star Wars Visions is, again, not named. We just know him as the Toby Inquisitor because he appeared in the episode titled Toby. He was the bad guy in that episode, and he fought the main character, whose name was Toby, of course. And he also died fighting, you guessed it, Toby. So, really the whole premise of that there. Anyway, I made him using a medieval knight helmet, and a red head to portray that sort of red visor he has. And then I used a torso from Crosshair and legs from Crosshair to represent the black armor he wears. One last thing I want to add to my collection. Inquisitors were very commonly seen with a special type of stormtrooper called Purge Troopers. They were specially trained to hunt down Jedi alongside the Inquisitors, and they had this really cool black armor with some red accents there in between. So I went ahead and bought myself some custom Purge Troopers. These guys look absolutely sick. We have about 8 of these guys lined up here, and I think they look really good for custom. The helmets are a little bit goofy looking, but when you look past it, they still look really, really cool, and it's a great addition to the Inquisitors. Thank you guys for watching this far into the video. I know it was kind of a longer one, but I've had this idea for a while and these figures for a while, and I really just want to crank out a solid video with some cool figures and cool ideas. But again, thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you next time.